Aquarius and their one-on-one relationships. Now, Aquarius is an interesting zodiac sign because it's an air sign, and the air signs tend to be very social. Aquarius is ruled by both Uranus and Saturn, and Uranus is a people person planet. It's, the planet that rules being a humanitarian. It rules groups, and the ability to work well in groups. And Aquariuses tend to thrive the most in group settings and community settings and like group situations. They tend to be great leaders, great people who are great role models, who lead by example. But they also tend to be sometimes hard to get close to and hard to understand, all right? And that's that Saturn energy, okay? Saturn is a planet that rules very serious things like karma, weight, debt, illness, things of that nature, the past. And here we have Uranus, which is all about moving forward, progression, and then that Saturn energy. So there is an aspect of Aquarius that loves to be surrounded by people, that loves to be in group situations, but there's also an aspect of Aquarius that likes to be alone, that kind of likes to do its own thing, likes to go work on its own projects and things of that nature. It's the Uranus and Saturn energy. It's that duality that Aquarius has. Now, Aquarius is like that friend at work that you guys, it's like you guys get along so super duper well at work. You guys like are best friends at work, but outside of work, you guys probably like don't talk. You may not even be friends on Facebook or social media, but like when you guys get together at work, you're like two peas in a pod, right? That can sometimes be like being in a relationship with Aquarius, or having an Aquarius as a friend. Aquariuses are the types of people who they can be friends with you in certain contexts, but in other contexts it just doesn't fit. Like, for example, like Aquarius, like maybe you guys may get along really well at work, because you guys may have a lot in common at work, but you may not have a lot in common at Sunday football in the basement of Aquarius's house with the rest of his or her homies, or on a Tuesday outing with their friends, it's different in each context for Aquarius. Aquarius can be like a chameleon in that way. Just because you're friends at work and you guys get along super duper well at work doesn't necessarily mean that Aquarius wants to be like your BFF forever, or the friend that you go out to bingo with every Saturday night. Like Aquarius, there are people who have a sense of routine. They have a routine that they loosely stick to, and that routine kind of works within a structure of people, within a structure of situations that Aquarius holds dear to them. So no, just because Aquarius is friends with you at work, or Aquarius has a group of friends at work, doesn't necessarily mean that that's Aquarius's true blue group of friends. Does that make sense? Like, Aquarius is the water bearer, so they constantly have their cup filled, handing out cups to other people, filling other people's cups. Now the thing about Aquarius is that like I said, they always have their cups filled, so their cups are naturally always filling up again. Sometimes it takes a while for the cup to be filled. Maybe Aquarius can't find a stream quick enough. Maybe there's a drought that day, that those few days. I don't really know, but eventually Aquarius's cup will get filled. And if we think of it in that way, because I'm talking in metaphors, analogies, and stuff like that in tarot right now, but in astrology, but if we think of it that way, the act of filling up one's cup, is an act of self-love, So in a way, Aquariuses are very self-loving. They don't, someone who loves themselves, an indication of someone who loves themselves is someone who enjoys their own company, who is someone who doesn't mind being alone, who rather enjoys being alone sometimes rather than being surrounded by people. And that's like a dichotomy that Aquarius sometimes constantly struggles with, is wanting to be alone but wanting to be around people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't know what I'm saying, but hopefully you can follow along with me, alright? But it's that dichotomy that Aquarius struggles with, and that people in relationships with Aquarius And friendships with Aquarius struggle with too. You know, because Aquarius doesn't always necessarily express, hey, I'm just like, I need my alone time every now and then. That's just the type of person I am. They just kind of do their own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Aquarius isn't the type of person that feels they need to explain why they do what they do. They just do what they do, you know? And for you to question that, them doing what they do, is actually kind of insulting to Aquarius, you know, a little bit. You know, Aquarius is the type of person that lives their own type of lifestyle, their own type of life, and they like to find people that fit in their lifestyle. And the only way to really fit in an Aquarius's lifestyle is to, one, become a family member, like become like family to Aquarius. It takes a while typically to get to that point, because Aquariuses can be not the most trusting people, and it takes a while for Aquarius to really feel like, okay, you're family, like you can come over whenever. If you need a place to stay, you can like stay. Like, Aquariuses are really picky and choosy. They're good at it. They're good at not making it seem like they're picking and choosing. Remember, because this is the group people. Like, they're the group people, but they're picking and choosing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're protecting their energy. That it's a self-protective mechanism to not get too attached, you know? Because when you get too attached, that's when people get it taken advantage of, you know? Aquarius does not mind filling up other people's cup. Aquarius does not mind making other people who are thirsty, who are need, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but who are parched, whose cups aren't filled or runneth over. Aquarius is the person who is going to remind you of your strengths and weaknesses, remind you of who the bleep you are, you know, and remind you that you're a beautiful being, a beautiful soul who can do anything. And sometimes people just get so attached to that energy, like, really quickly, because you're like, oh my gosh, wow, tell me more, right? But Aquarius sometimes purposefully pull back so that you don't get attached to them, because they don't like that. They don't like that feeling of people attaching, like, you know what I'm saying? Because what works for them, but what works for them may not necessarily work for you. And Aquarius doesn't want to be held responsible for something not working for you. Remember, these are the people that are role models, are like, you know, or can be seen as role models, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they group thinkers. But they also, it comes from thinking for self, you know, above all. So, and that's a dichotomy that Aquariuses are constantly struggling with too, is doing for self and doing for other people. So, you know, Aquariuses can sometimes, because due to all of these factors, can sometimes struggle a little bit with one-on-one relationships, and in turn, people can struggle with one-on-one relationships with Aquarians, okay? But it's all just, you know, understanding, being patient, and also giving one another space to be whomever one chooses to be in that moment, you know? Not judgment, no judgment. You know, Aquariuses are, you know, notorious for not being the most judgmental people. Like, they're not super judgmental, and that kind of draws people in too, but at the same time, they have their boundaries, you know, that they don't want people to cross, and they'll ice you out if you know, cross their boundary, you know. But, you know, the thing about Aquarius is that sometimes they purposely don't put boundaries, because they kind of, you know, it's that group thing. They're like, oh, equal treatment for everyone. But, you know, something that people need to learn is that you can't get Aquarius to do what you want them to do. They're always going to do what they want to do. Like, they march to the beat of their own drum, and their own drum only, you know. So, I hope I explained a little bit about Aquarius and how they are in one-on-one relationships. You know, when you have a one-on-one relationship with an Aquarius and it's good, it's really, really good, you know. It's just getting through those, you know, points of misunderstandings and misunderstandings in communication and action, you know, things of that nature. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for listening and watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Contact me if you would like your own personal tarot reading, or birth chart reading, personal psychic tarot reading, or individual birth chart reading or love compatibility birth chart reading, contact me on my website. If you would like any of those things, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. Follow me on my social media, Facebook.com/LamarrTownsendOfficial, Instagram @LamarrTownsend. I appreciate you. Namaste, love and light. See you in the next video.